Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is a glorious holiday weekend starting up. I hope that you're having a great time. It is May 27th, the beginning of this glorious Memorial Day weekend, and hope you're getting some barbecue going on. Hope you're getting kind of patriotic. If you're not in America, you're not celebrating Memorial Day, well, go about your business, heathens. Anyway, with that said, let's check out what's going on in the world. It is, of course, May 27th. It's 8:34 a.m. here in the Arizona desert, and let's see what crypto is doing. All right, boom, BitcoinDailyView.com. Got a bit more for you there. Enjoy. All right, so looking at the crypto universe in squares right now, mix of green and red, kind of a low volume morning, but we're beginning to see some action in the market. Nothing of note quite yet. There are some like mega shit coins that actually are making moves, but I'm not quite into actually trading yet. I think we're going to have maybe a nice gradual easy day for some alt trades and such. I'll try to get back on and see what and let you know what I find, things that are setting up really well. But right now, kind of in a wait and see mode. I'm not necessarily sure of the day's direction yet overall in the crypto market. I think a lot of it will decide if Bitcoin keeps its recent little spurt upwards. All right, now looking at longs, not longs, looking at liquidations last hour, just 389,000. That's not so bad. It's below a million. That's kind of good. Last 24 hours wrecked just 20 million. 389,000. I'm sorry. Last hour wrecked 389,000. People are trying to long and short with leverage, getting liquidated. It happens. They're not trying too aggressively. It was mostly people that were shorting. So 83,000 long, 306,000 short. Basically, people thought the market was going to dump. It has not. Bitcoin's kind of holding a little bit of energons that it has this morning. Last 24 hours, we're seeing liquidations very, very low, just about 20 million. That's really hardly any. So people are not trying too hard, I've noticed today, to long and short with leverage, and that's kind of a good thing. Looking at the longs versus shorts bias of the moment, we're looking at for Bitcoin explicitly 62% long, 37% short. And then for Ethereum, 55% long, 44% short. That's on Binance where the big volume is. All right, looking at the 15-minute chart here, you can see there was some serious action back on the 24th of May. It was a day or two ago. What's the date today? It's 27th, right? Yeah, okay, so quite a few days ago. Definitely saw some liquidations happening on the long side for sure. Bitcoin's been generally perking up. We definitely see a little bit of a spike in the action. The 26th. Actually, let me get that right here. This dump was on the 24th. We had a nice kind of pump here on the 26th yesterday. Kind of wiped out some of the shorts. Now we're just kind of ranging sideways. We're not seeing a lot of volume this morning. So in general, we'll see what happens. But Bitcoin does have a bit of energy. And if you notice here, I'll show it to you on the other chart. It'll be easier to see. But we're seeing a nice little pattern emerging. Looking at spot trading volume across the big exchanges, all in the red right now over the last 24 hours. That's fine. I think we're beginning to see it perk up a little bit. Looking at derivatives, basically longs and shorts with leverage on Binance where the big money is, just 20 billion right now in longs and shorts, down 29% last 24 hours. People are definitely taking the weekend off as far as aggressive longing and shorting at the moment. And that's probably good because with the low volume, it's just too volatile. The whales will will empty your fridge. So Bitcoin coming in at 26,670 right now. That's cool. Slight little bit of energy. It's holding on to that 26,000. That's good to go. I like seeing that. It's a good range. Overall, we're not seeing a whole lot happening here with the top 100 cryptos. Memoria NFT, Maru is in the red today. Oh, Hobie, that's an exchange coin. HT is in the green. Anyway, got some Neo action up 3%. BitGet token up a couple percent. Aave is up like 1.6%. We're beginning to see a little bit of movement. It would not surprise me if overall today we close with most of the, not that the Forex market really closes, but would not surprise me if today we do find most of the top 100 probably in the green. It would make sense. We've given a lot back recently, and I think we'll probably see at least a close in the green day. I close in the green for most of those. Now, looking at Bitcoin, this is a weekly chart. As you can see, Bitcoin on the weekly has gotten back above the 200 moving average. Now it's testing it on the weekly. That's a big deal. It needs to hold that or else, well, potty. Looking at the MACD for the weekly, looking like a negative cross coming, that would be awful. And as we get closer and closer to that, definitely we could see Bitcoin lose its 200 moving average on the weekly, and that would just not be so groovy unless you're shorting. And if you're shorting, then you're probably going to love it because you're going to get a nice dump to catch. So looking at the daily chart, we're holding this 100 moving average. It's wonderful to see. Also, I'm sorry, we're holding that 200 moving average. We're way above it. It looks good. Overall, you can see here on the daily chart, I can draw a nice parallel channel here, and you can see where Bitcoin is actually recently. It's broken above the 200 moving average, came down, tested it, and basically we're in an upwards channel. I'll take it. That's pretty darn nice. It's not a bad deal, not a bad place to be. Note this, the MACD is here below the heartbeat. It's down where it definitely can make a turn up and definitely make some money. So your blue is the MACD, the red is the signal. Your histogram here means it shows you like the distance between them. And so it looks like we're getting ready to make a positive cross. If we could do that on the daily MACD, that would probably turn the weekly around. Let's see what happens. If you're looking at the heartbeat of this MACD, it really kind of looks like maybe we're in store for one of these. We'll see what happens. We don't really know. This weekend is definitely so far pretty darn low volume, so we'll see if we get any rallies. But be careful. Bitcoin definitely could, especially looking at that weekly chart. I'm kind of going way out there because the chart just isn't very exciting, so I'm looking at kind of the daily and the weekly time frames. If that weekly MACD definitely gets people too freaked out, we could definitely see a 200 moving average bounce here on the daily for Bitcoin, and that would put us down to right around like about a 23,000 or so bounce. So just beware. It could be like 22,500 or so. We'll see what happens, but watch out for the lack of volume this weekend. If we go to a 4-hour chart here, 4-hour chart has a positive MACD. 4-hour chart though, it's not holding that 200 moving average. It's below it right now. That's in general a pretty weak chart, even though overall the daily is kind of showing us some love, some positivity. Looking at the 45-minute chart, this is somewhat hopeful. I like what I'm seeing here because Bitcoin did dump below the 200. Now it's kind of challenging it. Can it get above it? We'll see. It's all about what's going to happen in these different time frames. But right now the weekly is kind of not looking too great. Daily could be a turnaround. Short time frames are really kind of hard to read, but nothing's really very positive. It's a low volume week, so just be, weekend probably. So unless that turns around and people kind of start getting sparky this weekend, watch out, because low volume honestly most likely means that the whales will get their shorts in and dump it a bit. Probably not too bad. Just beware. I myself am not so interested in catching that short. I'd rather find that nice firm daily bounce of the 200 moving average. If that gets confirmed, that's where I might get in for some gains. I'd rather not short right now. The market is not just solid enough for me to do so. Anything else to look at? No, let's just look at Bitcoin. Good enough. We'll leave it at that. It is Memorial Day. It's always, or Memorial Weekend. It's always, to me, being a veteran, kind of a big deal because you got this beautiful family, and then, this is what happens. And when I see like people like this, this old, globalist piece of shit saying, I wouldn't care if Ukraine attacked Russia with F-16s because you're an old fart, you're reptilian, you're dead, you hate life, you're a death worshiper, and you want the world to burn in a nuclear holocaust. So we need to seriously stop listening to these old monsters. All this crap will end when the young people stop listening to the old monsters like this demon straight from hell, this denizen of death. So anyway, with that said, another thing that I like to think about as we sign off here, thanks for being an optimistic truth seeker. Thanks for being a crypto revolutionary, being part of the ultimately most powerful, peaceful revolution that's ever existed. Every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is an absolute statement of fact that you believe in, and you're creating a beautiful sci-fi future for humanity. And you want to be green, shut off your air conditioning, turn off your phone, and go plant next year's dinner. Well, there you go. I'm going to go out and do some gardening. Take care, and I will get on as much as I can this holiday weekend, especially if we see some action and some good setups. I'll let you know because they definitely could be had this weekend. And if I see them, I'll get on and I'll get them out there, because who wouldn't like to make some money on Memorial Day weekend?